Good morning and Merry Christmas from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Sunday, December 25th. Looking at continued mixed precipitation impacts for the next couple of days as we switch out an Arctic air mass to a very moist Pacific air mass through the next couple of days with an atmospheric river arriving for Monday night. And I'll be breaking that down for you this morning. Key points we're going to focus on today. Mixed precipitation is expected to continue for both today and tomorrow. Mainly looking at just some rain and snow showers with patchy freezing drizzle possible. And as always, you can head to 511.idaho.gov for the latest road information and webcams. Seeing those light winds out there, and that will support patchy, locally dense fog and low stratus through Monday. I'm going to have that inversion break by Monday afternoon and evening as our next system rolls through, but you can expect some patchy fog lingering throughout the day over the next couple of days. That atmospheric river is expected to arrive late tomorrow into Tuesday with a mix of moderate to heavy precipitation, both rain and wet snow, and it's looking like it's going to be an all-heavy wet mountain snow event, so certainly looking at very impressive totals as you get above 6,500 to 7,000 feet. And we're looking at that heaviest precipitation falling on Tuesday, when some of that snowmelt and rainfall could create some minor flooding concerns. Have gone ahead and issued a winter storm watch in effect for the Wood River Valley and Stanley Basin, including the surrounding mountains. And that'll be in effect from late Monday through late Tuesday. Unsettled weather is expected to continue through the remainder of December, with the secondary system moving in around the later portion of the week. Satellite this morning, you can see the high pressure still situated to our southwest and the low off there of the Pacific coast. Lots of Pacific moisture streaming in here, and that will be what's going to be bringing that atmospheric river as that shifts further into our area over the coming days. Take a look at the surface analysis this morning. You can see that first storm there. Going to be wrapping up here pretty quickly, and you can see that arrow there. Pretty much a straight line to the Pacific Northwest. So we are seeing some impacts already from a weaker atmospheric river further north, but the bulk of this moisture will be arriving early next week for much of the west. And here's a visual of that moisture. So you can see very dry air to our southwest, but lots of moisture streaming in from the Pacific. This low pressure system is helping to drive a lot of that into our area. And as this shifts further east over the coming days, you can expect precipitation chances to increase, as well as the moderate to heavy precipitation impacts as well. Weather risk outlook for the next 5 days. Main concerns over the next couple of days will just be a chance for some rain, snow showers, and freezing drizzle, with patchy fog continuing for both Sunday and Monday. By late Monday, we're still expecting some of that more moderate precipitation to start beginning to work into the western central mountains areas. But by Tuesday, looking at pretty widespread light to moderate, even heavy precipitation at times, and that'll be a mix of rain and snow. And that continues into Wednesday as well, tapering off, but still remaining unsettled for Thursday. Watches, warnings, and advisories currently in effect. So we have winter storm warnings and high wind warnings to our north. But further around our area, we do that winter storm watch for the western central mountains, Wood River Valley, Stanley Basin area, and a high wind watch from our neighbors at Great Falls for just north of the divide as you go up into Montana. Generally for this storm, we're looking at about 10 to 20 inches of snow or more above 6,500 feet. And as you get into the valleys, looking about 2 to 6. May see those totals begin to fluctuate over the next couple days, seeing where those snow levels exactly line up. But looking at some lighter snow and a mix of rain and snow in the valleys, and some pretty heavy wet snow accumulating for the mountains. Taking a look at road conditions out there this morning. Main concerns are just going to be some freezing drizzle, light snow showers, rain showers beginning to work into the area. And some of these darker colors here, you can identify as some winter travel conditions. So further southeast, further southwest, up in the northeast, and out towards the central mountains. There is some snow on the roadways this morning, and up towards Stanley and Botts. So we're looking just north of the Teton Valley here. And out towards Stanley, there is some dense fog this morning with visibility below 1 mile. Break down the precipitation for you. So we did see some rounds of precipitation already work through today, and we're expecting much of that to continue. Generally going to stay east of I-15, but as we take you to the later part of today, maybe just see an additional disturbance kick up a little bit of shower activity around 5 to 7 o'clock for much of the Snake Plain. If anything, very light to moderate precipitation impacts, and that'll take you through Sunday as far as getting into early Monday. Some of the stuff could be some cedar feeder off of the lower level cloud deck as we get into Monday morning, but again, not looking at anything very impressive for snowfall totals or liquid equivalent. And by late in the day on Monday, start to see that moisture stream in there into western Idaho, and taking you through the next couple of hours. Late Monday, some of those bands will begin to work in with more prolific rates as you take you to 3, 4 a.m. Some moderate to heavy precipitation beginning to work in through West Mountain Home into Sun Valley and Stanley for Tuesday morning. Additional snowfall amounts today shouldn't amount to too much, generally less than an inch for much of our valleys, pushing about 1 to 3 inches as you get into the higher terrain, with locally higher in that 4 to 6 inch range in the Tetons. Temperatures for today, so overall we're starting off the day in the teens and 20s for most. It's going to be warming up throughout the day, back into the 30s and low 40s. Temperatures on Monday morning, it's going to be widespread temperatures in the 20s and 30s, so looking at above freezing for many of our valley locations further southwest. As you take it to Monday afternoon, widespread highs in the 30s to mid-40s, pushing 50 degrees in the western Magic Valley. And by Tuesday, this looks like it's going to be the warmest day of the week. We're looking at overnight lows on Tuesday above freezing for many of our lower elevations to the south. So that will support an all-rain event, especially on Tuesday, as that precipitation begins to move into the area with mixed precipitation as you get into some of our mountain valleys. But by Tuesday afternoon, everyone will be above freezing. So we're starting to see a mix of rain and snow across all of our lower elevation zones, as higher elevations will remain all snow, staying at or below freezing. Wind gusts on Tuesday, so we're going to see those winds increase throughout the day on Monday. Slightly breezy in the afternoon, nothing too much, but by Tuesday, going to see those winds increase upon the arrival of that precipitation. Looking at gusts up to about 30, 40, even 50 miles an hour in some locations, with the higher elevations looking like the winners for this scenario. Temperatures by Wednesday, so we're going to slightly moderate as we get towards midweek. Overnight lows Tuesday night are going to be in the 20s to mid-30s, and afternoon highs on Wednesday, 30s, and a mix of 40s as well. Wind gusts on Wednesday, still staying slightly breezy, generally looking at about gusts up to 20, maybe even 35 miles an hour. Some of those locally wind-prone areas, but certainly staying fairly breezy through Wednesday. Not as strong as what we saw on Tuesday, but still keeping with that active weather trend as we take you through the remainder of the week. Here's a look at the expected snowfall and liquid equivalents. This is Monday night through Wednesday night. You can see there's going to be some pretty prolific snowfall rates. That's where we have the winter storm watch in effect up there in the central mountains. It's going to be arriving a little bit later, further east, maybe about 6 to 12 hours later. Further east as you get towards Montana and Utah and Wyoming. It's certainly something to keep an eye on, as additional headlines may be needed in these areas. But for right now, main target area and what's going to be happening first will be that moderate to heavy precipitation working into the central mountains. And we're talking, at least a widespread quarter to a half inch, even maybe an inch in some of our lower elevations. And as you get outside of the Snake Plain, generally looking about a half inch to even 1 1/4 in many places. And it's taken up into the central mountains especially. That's going to be where the jackpot for a lot of those heaviest totals will be. We're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of liquid equivalent in that area. So it's going to lead to very heavy wet snow and a mix of rain and wet snow in the valleys. Temperatures on Thursday, so a little bit cooler as the system departs of our area. So looking at teens and 20s to kick off your Thursday, with afternoon highs still in that 30s and 40s. Kind of expecting temperatures to remain in that moderate area for the foreseeable future. And here's a look at the pre-storm. So we're still continuing to be above normal for the snowpack currently in here in eastern Idaho, generally about 150+% for many of our basins. And we're going to add to that through this next storm with heavy wet snow, which is great for the snowpack. In summer this morning, we do have that mixed precipitation working in throughout the day. Mix of rain, snow showers, and some patchy freezing drizzle in places. Will lead to some potential slippery road conditions, and you can always head to 511.idaho.gov for the latest information and webcams. Light winds will support some patchy, locally dense fog over the next couple of days, but an atmospheric river looks to mix out our lower levels as our next system arrives in, so pushing that fog out of here. But lots of precipitation will be moving in late Monday into Tuesday, looking at a moderate to heavy mix of rain and wet snow. All heavy wet snow in the mountains, so as you get above 6,500 to 7,000 feet, it will be an all heavy wet snow event. We do have a winter storm watch in effect for the Wood River Valley and Stanley Basin areas, including the higher elevations around it, and that'll be going into effect late Monday through late Tuesday. Unsettled weather is expected to continue through the remainder of December, as we are favored with above normal precipitation and temperatures to round out the year. And that's also your weather briefing for today, Sunday, December 25th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome day.